Okay, we ready to go? Okay. Thanks, guys, for coming on planning time. I know how difficult it is. We're going to look at some data, and it's kind of a compilation of what we've been doing this last few weeks since we met. Let's talk a little bit about, guys, remember our norms? They're right here, so those are our team norms. And Pam, would you mind taking notes for us?
No, that'd be great.
And then George, will you keep us on time?
Yes, I will.
I appreciate that. We don't want to miss next period. Okay. You guys have the data here in front of you. Let's look at, there's kind of two different things we want to look at.
I'm going to look at yours. I have the behavior data too, so if we need to address that, we have that right here.
Okay, perfect.
I see that we've looked at the absences for current year and last year, and then the trend over the last 2 years. I don't know what you see, but I see an awful lot of red saying we're having some issues with attendance.
I agree, and one of the problems that I'm looking at with the attendance is that it is impacting their overall scores.
Exactly.
So what I think we need to do is really focus on what's happening with the attendance.
I agree. I agree. Because it's over 50% of this group of kids.
So yeah, so something we're going to need to address with the whole entire team, not just the ones who are having poor attendance, if it's that many students, right?
Yeah, there's a trend, or maybe a grade level trend. I don't know.
Well, you know,
Something's right.
7th grade.
I know.
That's part of it,
I know.
right?
I hear
Okay.
you. I guess when we look at their math scores, it just seems like it definitely correlates with attendance. You can see it. I mean, it's
look at
clear
that.
as day. I mean, they go, the children that come to school have the higher scores.
Yeah,
makes
and,
sense.
and the ones who are absent, they have a tendency to make little to no growth. And so the higher the absence is definitely has a correlation with the number of improvements that they're showing.
Absolutely.
You know, right here I have behavior data, and
good.
some of those same students may be out because of behavior issues.
Ah, okay, good. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah, without going into it in detail, this is a large caption for the whole group. We might want to revisit that in our next meeting, so we have real specific individual data, like maybe do a correlation between these students who are absent and referrals, and see who comes up the same. Because that could be a cause and effect type of thing, you know, for some of that.
You think we could get the administrator responsible, the dean, for example, to sit in on a meeting and sort of highlight some of the things that he is seeing as creating problems? Because maybe we can find out school-wide what's going on and come up with some
That's a really good
interventions
point.
for that.
I think that's a great idea.
Great idea. I'll put it in the notes that next week when we meet, I'll invite him as well, if that works for you.
Exactly. And the trends I don't know, but we may want to look at, since we have enough data for the last 2 years, it becomes a habit. Is it the same days absent for the same children? That type of stuff, you know, we need to really make sure we look closely at that. Like Mondays and Fridays.
Right.
Holidays.
Yeah, that they don't come back after holiday, just to see if that correlates.
So deeper trends with absences. I'll put that in there.
Absolutely.
We'll get that data together as well.
And we also like to know about the discipline piece, especially because, as you pointed out, some of this might have issues with discipline. Are we dealing with a lot of out-of-school suspensions? And shining the light on that to help us better understand what intervention we need to implement to really affect the school-wide change of behavior.
Right, so we'll know why.
Exactly.
And where to go from there. Okay, so we'll put that intervention aside and we'll pick back up on that one.
Okay.
Focusing on that absence. Good. Are we going to look at the...
Yeah, let's look at the intervention we've been working on. It looks pretty successful here.
Yeah, well, I'd say that the interventions are working. We reduced it down to just 2 students who are really having consistent issues.
Right.
I'd like to find out what's going on with those 2 students.
Right, and this was that one reading intervention that we started about a month ago.
Yes.
And now, when I did the percentage on this, you could actually tell that it's about 75% successful.
Yes.
So technically, if we're using our 80% rule, though, it's not quite, you know, where it needs to be. But we don't have a lot of students in that either.
Exactly.
But you can see their targets right next to it, and you can see we varied their targets based on their overall skills, so that, you know, even those who are way behind could make the growth needed, and then we can always adjust the target up as they go. So we can see some are, even if they are red, they are so close to their target, they're almost there.
It looks like even though they're in the, so to speak, in the red, they are increasing.
Yeah, you
For
can see
each
the
piece of
growth.
data they're gathering, they are
Sure.
increasing. So they must have started substantially below the others, so.
Yeah, they did, but this makes them feel good too, that they're not so far away from their target. You know, at
Absolutely.
the beginning.
Absolutely.
Great.
This looks
Do
good.
you know if, as part of the intervention, the teachers are actually meeting with these students to give them an attaboy, job well done?
Oh, yeah, I think we rolled that in as part of the behavior part of this intervention.
Very good.
We wanted a motivational piece because we
Good.
knew some of these kids were so far behind that
Very
that
good.
was part of the issue. I think really that's why it's being so successful.
Okay.
Is because of that. That's an excellent point.
I would like to see the administration also get involved. A lot of times, that kind of principal, assistant principal, dean stepped up when they see them and saying, hey, you know, you did really good, so
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we should send to the
Great idea.
principal that student that we want them to
Show them the
recognize.
success they're having.
That's
As a-
great. You know what, as part of our intervention review, I'll just say that we're going to bring an administrator on board and help
Exactly.
roll that into part of it. You know, if we do that, we need to do a change line, because we
Yes.
actually are
Changing the intervention, yep.
But I think, you know, we have a lot of progress monitoring data already, so I think it's a good time to do that change.
Yes.
You guys,
Got
agree.
several data points.
yep, okay, great. So this counts as one of our progress monitoring points or evaluation, basically, that
Very
we're
good.
going through. And we'll just continue on.
Exactly, and I would hope that we need to check to see if these two students that are in the red have anything to do with the attendance piece too.
Very good.
That will be a good cross-reference.
Because you never know that if they're not there, it's hard to,
That's right.
to grow.
They were there for all the progress monitoring points, but that doesn't mean they were there for the whole intervention.
yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
Okay,
that
great.
might be something we need to look at.
Okay. George, what time do we have right now?
We're at about 5 minutes to go. So,
Do you have anything to wrap up?
I think we have a good start on all of this. I do like the idea that we're gonna go back and get some input from our dean. I think that'll help, because like you said, it's hard to tell why they were absent. I always like to know the why. And,
And I'll be sure to get this typed up in our progress monitoring log online, so that
Perfect.
it automatically gets sent to you guys anyway, and then that way we have already documented our process.
that's perfect.
very good, very good.
Perfect. We're such a great team. Thank you.
I know, you guys are great.
it's a pleasure working with you.